When we tune in every morning, our favorite TV hosts feel like familiar friends, people who bring warmth into our living rooms, who smile even when we don't feel like smiling ourselves. They joke, they laugh, and they guide us through the chaos of life as if nothing in their world could possibly go wrong. But every now and then, something breaks through the perfect picture. A moment so real, so raw, that everyone watching stops and feels it straight in their chest. That moment arrived on an ordinary morning for Kelly Ripa, right when she expected nothing more than another fun, lighthearted show. It began like any other broadcast, jokes, laughter, playful teasing, but behind the scenes, something was weighing heavily on her heart, something she hadn't been ready to share. And when the truth finally slipped through the cracks, the audience felt it instantly. Her smile faltered, her breath caught, and for the first time in a long time, the studio didn't feel like a stage. It felt like a window into her soul. People wondered what was happening. What could shake someone as strong, funny, and resilient as Kelly? It didn't take long for whispers to spread. Mark Consuelos, the charming, confident, endlessly energetic man who had filled screens for decades, hadn't been seen on set. Fans noticed his absence immediately. They knew his personality too well. He's the kind of guy who lights up an entire room just by walking into it. When he disappeared without explanation, it didn't feel like scheduling or work. It felt different. It felt heavy. Kelly tried her best to push through. She told jokes, she kept the show moving, but you could see something in her eyes, something she wasn't saying. Her voice softened, her shoulders tightened, her timing, normally perfect, was just a little off. Anyone who truly knew her could tell she was carrying something far heavier than a missed punchline. And finally, the world found out why. Mark had been dealing with a private health scare. Nothing dramatic, nothing graphic, but enough to disrupt their world and shake their sense of security. It wasn't the kind of situation you see on dramatic medical shows. It was quieter, more confusing, and filled with uncertainty. The kind of thing where you don't know whether to worry or relax. The kind of thing that makes you appreciate every breath, every laugh, every ordinary moment. Kelly had been living between the studio and home, balancing scripts and worry, keeping the show alive while trying to hold herself together. She wasn't just missing Mark in his chair beside her. She was missing her partner in every part of life. The person she leaned on, the person who filled the quiet moments with comfort, the person who made her laugh on days when she didn't think she could smile. For viewers, it was a shocking reminder that behind the sparkling lights of television are real people with real fears and with a story worth telling. But what truly stunned the public was when Mark decided to open up, on his own terms, in his own words. He posted a simple photo online. Nothing glamorous, nothing staged, just him holding Kelly's hand, their fingers intertwined with the kind of grip that says, "I need you. I'm here. Don't let go." The background wasn't fancy or curated. It was dim, quiet, and unfiltered. A moment caught between uncertainty and hope. In his caption, he didn't describe symptoms, diagnoses, or complicated details. He didn't want sympathy or drama. He only wanted honesty. He wrote about feeling off, about moments of dizziness, fatigue, and confusion that didn't make sense. He wrote about how Kelly had noticed the changes before he did, because she always notices everything. He wrote about the fear of not knowing what was happening, of waiting for answers that didn't come right away. And he wrote about gratitude, deep, sincere, overwhelming gratitude for the person who held him through it all. He said, "I've always prided myself on being strong, but even the strongest people have days when they need someone to lean on. And when I did, she was there, completely, fearlessly, quietly." And then he added something that made the world pause. He wrote, "I realized that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit you're scared." Within minutes, millions of people saw the post. Within hours, millions were sharing it. Fans, friends, and fellow entertainers flooded the comments with support. Suddenly, everyone understood why Kelly had been emotional on air. They understood why her voice cracked and her smile trembled. They knew it wasn't about ratings or theatrics. It was about love. A love that had been tested. A love that had risen stronger than fear. And this is where the true heart of their story begins. Because when life forced them to slow down, something surprising happened. They rediscovered each other, deeply, quietly, beautifully. Their home shifted from being a buzzing whirlwind of schedules and conversations to a softer, gentler rhythm. Kelly became Mark's steady guide through small daily routines. She researched everything, asked questions, and made sure he was never alone in the moments when uncertainty hit hardest. Mark, usually the unstoppable one, had to learn patience. He had to learn to accept help, to listen to his body, to trust the slow process of healing in whatever form it took. And on the days that frustration grew too loud, Kelly became the calm. She teased him, joked with him, distracted him, hugged him, and when needed, told him straight up to sit down and behave. She kept him laughing. He kept her hopeful. And together, they kept moving forward. Their kids joined in too, the house filled with soft humor, inside jokes, and unexpected family moments that reminded everyone what really matters. Dinners became longer, evenings became quieter. Their home became a sanctuary again, a place where love wasn't just spoken, but shown. As weeks went by, Mark began to feel more like himself. Color returned to his cheeks, his energy grew, his humor, his signature charm returned in full force. One morning he looked at Kelly and joked, "Just admit it, you missed my face more than anything else." She rolled her eyes, but even she couldn't hide her smile. Eventually, the day came when he felt ready to step back into the world. And when he returned to work, the energy shifted instantly. Fans cheered. Crew members teared up. Kelly's face lit up like someone turned the sun back on. Their on-air chemistry was stronger than ever, not because everything was perfect, but because they had been reminded of how fragile and precious life can be. Kelly said something later that touched millions. Sometimes the moments that scare us the most are the ones that make us realize how deeply we love. Their journey wasn't about illness, fear, or drama. It was about partnership, about resilience, about rediscovering what you mean to each other when life interrupts the script. And through it all, one thing became crystal clear. Their love story is not measured in red carpet photos, interviews, or television moments. It's measured in the quiet nights, the shared fears, the whispered reassurances, the laughter that returns after a storm, and the hands that refuse to let go. Today, Kelly and Mark stand stronger, not because they avoided challenges, but because they walked through them together. And in doing so, they reminded the world that behind every public figure is a human being, with a heart, with fears, and with a story worth telling. Their journey continues, not perfect, not predictable, but beautifully real. A story of love, humor, resilience, and the courage it takes to be vulnerable. And for everyone watching, it's a reminder that even when life shakes us, there can be a deeper strength waiting beneath the surface, one built on connection, devotion, and the kind of love that refuses to fade.